is Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. Lots of times my petunias play out. I hope these don't, but if they do, we'll have this memory. Isn't that beautiful today? I'm finally getting around to get some of my peonies clipped back. These can put down seed, and they just kind of go everywhere where you don't want them. So, and I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure they do not come back battery change, but I was saying I don't think they come back true to the mother plant. That's probably true if they are hybridized, but I've never seen a peony I didn't like, so they probably would be pretty, but I do not want to deal with all this. I'm just trying to clip them off so that they can put their energies into the root, into making a bigger plant for next year. Also, I have been trimming. I've started the task of trimming back my chrysanthemums, so I have not got very many of them actually. It's been so hot that it's a hard job to do, but I have got some of it, so I feel good about that. And there's always more to do than I can get done in the garden, but it always feels good to get something done. Also, I did go ahead and trim all the dead stuff off of this little rose where I had tried to kill out the part of it that had gone back to the old red rose. So maybe we'll have it for another year, but it's going away. So, but it's pretty today. Scraggly, but pretty. And of course, June is all about the lilies. These are cannas in the background, but you'll see lilies blooming everywhere in the garden. This is a Cahothia, or a torch lily. That's what I can say. Lots of my little seedlings are coming up, which is great. Also today I finished my sister's movie, so I need to do 2 other sisters' movies and my daughter's movie. Before I had my little heart attack or heart episode, whatever it was I had, I just was hoping and praying that I would get those done, and God has definitely given me some more time, and I'm definitely on it. But I've been coming out around 5:30, and it's still very hot at 5:30, but it starts to cool down a tiny little bit around 6:30. So I'm always grateful when it does. And then I've been staying out here till dark, going ahead and trimming back some of my chrysanthemums and other things that need a trim. And things are beginning to grow up and get bigger and just look like summer is here, which it almost is. So it feels good to get my sister's movie done, and I played it, and I thought it's good. So I was happy with it. There's always things you wish you could do better, and always pictures you wish were sharper and brighter, but it depicts what I wanted it to come across, and it depicts a time in her life and a time in our lives. So it's a wonderful feeling to have it done, and just to know that I really did get it to her. I fulfilled a promise, and I hope I get to fulfill all the other promises as far as the movies that I made, and hope to get to write my book, which is basically just going to be about a plain, ordinary person. But you know, God made us all special. And on that note, I'm planning to write that book if He allows me to. But first, I want to get those little movies made. You never can get everything you want to get done in a day, and it's just amazing how fast, or in other circumstances, how slow the time can go. But I know one thing, even if I should live to be 110, which is not likely, but if I should, I still only have a short time, and the sands in the hourglass are running down for me. If I want to get something done, I've got to stay with it. I just love that when the blue balloon flowers bloom at the same time as the orange lilies, they look so wonderful together. Look, I just noticed the crepe myrtles are beginning to bloom. They're usually what I consider a July plant or July flower. So it's only the middle of June, but the seasons seem to show up first in the garden. And I know it depends on the weather we're having too, but still you can just almost always begin to see the change of season first in the garden. I've been getting lily pictures for my Instagram posts, and I'm pretty sure I could literally get a different lily for every day of the month of June, and I may try to do that. Although I don't think I started with lilies on the first day of June, so I might just have to finish up this year and next year try that, to get a different lily for each day of the month of June. And right here with these lilies, of course, this is the St. John's wort bush. This lovely little, looks like a fiber optic top plant. So pretty. And I'm going to back up so you can see the whole bush. It has been so nice. I actually thought it was just the St. John wort's plant, but it actually turned out to be the bush, and I've loved it. I think I probably would like just the plant too, but either way, it's just an interesting little spot in the garden, especially when it blooms. Here is another place where my little zinnia seeds bloomed, and in this little pot some are coming up also. And of course there are other places where they're not coming up, and I probably need to try again. You can plant zinnias really late in this season. I think I waited till July one year, I'm pretty sure I did, and they turned out as beautiful as the ones that were planted earlier. And of course some of my little plants gave it up. You can tell there's one right there that's not going to make it. But then others are just beautiful, so we just have to focus on the positive. This is one of my favorite daylilies, and it's called Indian Giver. I hope I got this one earlier because it's not looking so great right now. Some water from the soaker hoses homemade soaker hoses. I'm just poking holes in hoses because the soaker hoses that I've tried all just stop up with our Jip water. So this way I can poke another hole if I have to, but you know I've also had trouble with them springing geyser leaks that are not good. So I've really been struggling with these this season so far, and I've got it better, at least where I can turn them on and let it soak and get in the ground around some of the areas, and I guess wash out some of the others, but hopefully we won't keep that up. I've put so many menders on here. I had a whole box full of them and I've used every one. I need to get some more. So far my little Calabachoa and Lobelia are still going strong. It's probably not gonna last, it never has before, but I am so happy that they're doing it now. And as I say that, I'm seeing that these look a little bit like they may be fading out. So we'll see what will happen. I may try to trim them back and see if they will. Sometimes petunias and calabachoas, if you trim them back, they'll take on another growth. So I may have to do that to all of this and try. But so far, my experience has been to try and then find out that they just go ahead and die anyway. But I'm thinking that one thing I'm learning is that they take a deeper little coconut liner. I have some in more shallow coconut liners that are just not doing well at all, and some that died. My little crown of thorns cactus plant is still looking so terribly puny. I was hoping if I put it back here and I gave it some iron, and I'm just trying everything I know to try, but here's what it's doing, is still putting on these yellow leaves as it goes and just dying. Oh, I hope it takes a healthy spurt and goes one of these days soon. But I'm sure as long as there's any green on there at all, I'll keep hoping and praying for it. And I sure hope it turns out that that will be all it needs, is a little time in God's hands and me trying to take care of it, and hopefully it will work. You know, they have a chance to go either way. Look at this beautiful little agave. And I still need to move that because I think it's getting too much water due just to the drain from the overspill from this little pot. And look at this beautiful, it's not grown much, but it's still looking very healthy. These little curly spider plant or airplane plant. I'd be glad when they're so big they spill out. When you're looking at the front of it, they're still all over the sides spilling out like this. In this beautiful, this is just a little trailing vinca and it looks gorgeous. And here in this pot is one of those little calabachoas I was telling you about that's most likely not going to make it. I wish that weren't true. And I'm going to try to take it back because you know you're snared by the words of your mouth, and I do not want to say something and make it happen. If I could, I would say this is going to live and thrive and be beautiful, but you know, it's not been my luck so far, but I'm going to keep on trying. And this is a beauty. If you could see it in health, you would love it. Another one of the daylilies. And here's another one of those trailing periwinkle or vinca, and right beside it you can see all the little seedlings that I planted seeds, and they're coming up. One day this summer, hopefully, and I believe it will happen, they will grow up tall and put beautiful zinnias on them, and I'll have to come out and show them to you. And I lost my Rex begonia. The little on sale one that I got is gone. But this one is still doing fine. I can get it in focus so you can see how pretty it is. And I hope it will continue on to do pretty and healthy, and I can take it in and it'll survive, and you know, all that stuff. I hope and hope and hope. My little Artemisia or Artemisia wormwood is looking great in this pot. It did die out there on the side, but it's looking good all over, and it may go ahead and just fill out that other side at some point. And if not, I'll probably try a zinnia seed over there. Matter of fact, I think I did already, but I don't see it coming up in that area. So I looked closer, and I'm right, I didn't see it coming up there, but look right over on the other side. So we'll have one. But I do hope to get something in this little bare ground so that it'll fill it out and make it look even more beautiful. So I actually took a quick break from watering so I could show you some of the garden, and glowed a little bit that I finished my sister's movie, and I'm ready to start on another sister's movie, and I feel good about that. But I've also been working out here until dark, and so I've got to get back to the job at hand. Please be sure to follow us and like us and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I'll remember to tell you again, if possible, at the end of this movie or this post. And this is the lily that my friend Shirley said was her favorite, because it's not real and it doesn't fade away. But even if the real things don't last and fade away, they certainly leave a beautiful impression for us to remember. And I'm going to clip this spent one away so you can see the beauty of this other beautiful little ruffled daylily. The purple monarda or bee balm has looked so beautiful. It's beginning to wane and lose some of its beauty, but it's still got a beautiful color. I also wanted to say thank you to all my subscribers. My new subscribers, it's so wonderful to look on there and see that that number has jumped. And then also, especially my old subscribers. Sorry, I'm calling you old, but you know what I mean. The ones that have been with me the longest. Thank you. So I'm so grateful for you all, and I'm hoping that the channel will continue to grow. And it actually has been a pleasure to do this for you, even though, you know, it's hard to get everything done in the garden. The garden is really hard work, even though it looks so beautiful. But I was telling a friend today, sometimes you have to get really ugly to make something beautiful. My beautiful little white bacopa died. It's gone, totally gone. I left the root there, but that's all it is. It's an old dead root. I did put this little one in there, and it looks like it's going to make it. I know it's all wilty, but for something that had to build a root in this terrible heat, I think it's going to make it. And I put some little seed just last night on these around where there's bare ground, because where there's bare ground there's weeds coming up if a flower's not there. That was another one of my earlier sayings that I still hold to. Where a flower is not, a weed will be. And I still believe that, of course. But so I'm hoping that all this will fill up with little zinnias, but we'll see. And then this is my castor bean. Look how it's grown. And I did go ahead and take the other one up, and I put it in front in one of the pots. I thought, well, maybe I can get some shade when this one grows up for my front pots. But it lived a couple of days and looked great, and then died, and I'm thinking a snail probably ate it. But also I noticed that I probably missed one or two from last year's plant. I did not plant these, but this came up. I think there might be two there, or it might just be one. But I don't know if I may just pull it up, or I may try it. If it just dies, it'll just die, and it might live and give me that shade I was talking about. So I may try that. And not only here, but just right here is another one. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. So I really don't want more than two. I said more than one, but if I could get one growing in the front, I'll probably try to get these growing in the front in pots and see if they'll put up some shade for my little plants that miss the shade of the maple tree that used to be. And this little daylily I can't see without thinking of my granddaughter, Lily Mae, because this is something like what she would paint when she was helping me paint my garden stuff. She would never be just one color. It would have many colors, and it would usually have something just a little bit totally different, like one side one color and the other side another color, or speckles, or just something so unique. When I just realized we haven't yet got this little orange, mock orange bush trimmed down. I've got to get that out of there so it won't reach up and get into our other bushes and just keep going, and make it a lot neater and a lot healthier. Thought I'd go around front a little bit for you too. I lost my pretty catmint. This little pot stopped draining, and so it just, I thought maybe if I clipped it back it would come back up, and it still may, but it's not looking promising. But I also planted some pretty little yellow zinnias in there with it, because I thought how pretty that would be with yellow zinnias and catmint just flowing out all around it. But I don't know how that will work. It looks like it's not going to this year, but it may still do, and if not, we may try it again next year. Almost all of the larkspur is gone, and I did pull up a great deal of it so that I wouldn't have so many random ones coming up. They're beautiful, but they can become invasive and become a problem. And this little bacopa is the only one. No, I think there's one in the back in that pot that's got lots of different annuals in it. I think I have two. One that's pink back there, and then this one. Oh, I would love to get to show them to you when they're just flowing in beauty and when they don't die, but when they just keep going and going. That's the way I want it to be. And it can be that way, but honestly, I've only had that happen one time, so I don't know what I did right then or what I'm doing wrong now. Look how this beautiful bougainvillea has filled out. I'm so proud of it. I can't believe it looks so scraggly. I really thought it might die. I thought it might die so much that I bought another one. But luckily and thankfully, it not only didn't die, but it's just doing great. So no kidding, I have got to get busy finishing my hand watering and clipping back a few more chrysanthemum. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.